Hello guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Free Hammers. It's Luke here. The Premier League season is over, but it's not quite over for West Ham fans. There's still one massive game. This time next week, will me and Paul be sitting here saying we are Europa Conference League champions, or we'll be sitting here depressed going, Moyes, get out of my club. We'll find out. We've got loads to talk about. Come on, you irons. Mate, how's it going? Season's over, mate. I think that's the best place to start. You know, just sort of a little look for a little chat for 10, 15 minutes about the season. Relief, mate, to be honest with you. You know, it's been a long old slog, hasn't it?
Yeah, glad it's over. It's not been a good season. Well, you can't say it's not been a good season yet. It might be an amazing season. It's not been a good Premier League season.
Yeah,
let's put it that way. Yeah, the league this year has been really, really poor. Really poor. Couldn't wait for it to end. Finally over. It'll be one to forget either way. You know, if we end up winning next week, no one's going to remember this season for the league.
No.
One to forget, put behind us, and move on. Basically,
look at it a little bit, mate. You know, put some numbers out there for you. 20 losses, 11 wins. It's not good enough, is it? You know, Ray Winston said it on TalkSport. They asked him, "Do you want Moyes in, Moyes out?" And you know, we can sort of touch on both at the minute. I don't care what happens next week. To be honest with you, mate, he has to go. He has to go.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I still don't think he should stay for next season. If he does, he'll be going into the last year of his contract. You know, unless something drastic happens and we end up in the top 4 by Christmas, he's not going to get an extension.
And that's really dangerous way to go into a transfer window. It's a really dangerous way to go into a season.
Yeah.
I don't like it. And I know Gio says it all the time.
No, we've had it before. We've had a dice. We've had it with Bilic, I think, as well. So yeah, you know, for me, as we've said before, the dream scenario: we lift the trophy next week. Moyes walks off, shake hands, walks off. West Ham hero, won us our first trophy in decades.
I think that is the best way for him to go. I honestly do, because even though he would have won it, if he stays, you know, and the football's the same, and we have a really bad start to the season, he just tarnishes it. Like if he wins that trophy, that's his last ever game. Like you say, mate, thank you, mate. You're a legend. You're in there with Greenwood. You're in there with Johnny Lyle. Well done. But yeah, it has to go. Has to go.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I agree. And like you say, otherwise, if we start, and I don't see much reason to think we wouldn't, but if we start next season like, you know, we played the majority of this year in the last 18 months, they'll sack him at Christmas anyway.
Yeah. So, and then you're in a position where you potentially need a firefighter again. Where I think the whole club, you know, literally needs to hit restart. As soon as that game finishes on Wednesday, win or lose, you know, if we win, you know, a totally different idea because you've got Europa League again. And, you know, there's two dynamics to what happens on Wednesday night. Yeah, you know, new director of football, potentially new owners. Like I say, there's so much to talk about today. Just on the season, though, mate, who's impressed you
for West Ham?
Yeah. Who can, you know, come out with their head held high from this season?
I mean, Declan Rice for a lot of the season wasn't great, but the last couple of months he has been absolutely incredible. He has been every single bit of £100+ million player. Maybe he's playing for that reason, for the to catch the eye. But you know, there's absolutely no doubt about it. Declan Rice is absolutely world class.
Oh mate, he was unbelievable them last 10, 15 games.
Yeah, Lucas Paqueta has now sort of settled into the league. He looks again like the player that we thought we were getting. Paqueta has been fantastic. Took him a while to settle in, but now he's sort of settled in. He looks like he's really going to be the man, and probably our best player when Dex leaves. Benrahma had a really good start to the season, but I feel like he kind of tailed off.
What about out of the new signings, I know you've said Paqueta there, but what about a Kura and a Gerd?
It's so difficult because, Agerd started really well. He was injured for a long time, but then he looked amazing. He looked like an absolute machine, but then he was making mistakes every other game. So Agerd, I don't know, jury's still out. I still like him, still like the look of him, but I think maybe next season will be the one where we see what he's really about. Kera has been played in like 4 different positions, but when he has
really
played,
good recently though.
Yeah, I know.
Really good.
I've liked him. I've always said I think he's better as a right back than a centre back, and he's been playing right back the last couple of weeks, and I think he's done a really good job. I think he's done well. Emerson's a weird one because I think Emerson's done. I don't think he's done anything wrong apart from when one of his first games he made a big mistake and he let his man wander and we conceded. And I know that I think that stuck with him for quite a while. But apart from that, I can't really think of anything he's done wrong.
No.
You?
We don't talk about the big man yet because there's a comment in there that fits in quite nicely. We'll talk about him in a minute.
Yeah.
What about disappointment? And again, try avoid the big man for a minute. Who's disappointed you this season?
Well, Cornet we haven't seen. He hasn't played because he's been out for most of it. All right, I thought we were talking about new signings still. I was going to say Downs.
Oh, no, just in general.
Downs, yeah, everyone's been disappointing. Everyone. Souček has been poor.
Awful.
I think Bowen has been way below his standard. There ain't really anyone. It's so difficult. I was going to say there ain't really anyone who's going to come out of this season with massive credit. There's not. Just the fact that from the league performances I'm talking about, it's just not been good all over.
I think Zuma every time he's played, barring maybe 2 or 3 games, I think he has been fantastic.
He has, but again, how many injuries has he had? How many games has he missed?
Yeah. No, I'm just talking about in terms of when he does play.
Yeah,
he very, very rarely lets the team down and puts in a really good shift.
I think you say the same for Ogbonna as well.
Yeah. What about just one more thing on the season, mate? What about Pablo Fornells? If we're talking about treatment of players from Moyes, as a negative for him, another reason why he needs to go, mate, he absolutely has destroyed this man. Literally, don't get me wrong, he scored a wonderful goal against Leicester, scored a wonderful goal against AZ Alkmaar, and maybe is pushing for a starting place next week. But honestly, it sounds a bit dramatic as a man, but it's broke my heart, mate, how that man has been treated this season. It really has.
Mate, I agree, and I think most West Ham fans would. We all love Pablo, we do. And he was a player that gave his all every single game, 100%.
Got the
maximum effort, got the club, always with a smile on his face, always laughing, joking, the obviously the famous clip, everywhere we go. That was him.
He did it in the semi-final.
But this, like you say, mate, this season he has looked a broken man. He has. He's looked a broken man.
Yeah.
And it's terrible.
And he really has showed his quality, though, mate. The goal against Bournemouth was brilliant. The goal against Alkmaar, and then I think you said it, mate. The ball that he played to Bowen in the Leeds game, I think it was to Bowen, mate. If Kevin De Bruyne does that pass, everyone's going, "Oh my god, mate." Yeah. This guy is. There's a special player in there.
Yeah, criminally underused, and mistreated. I think he has been mistreated, and I would say the same maybe on a lesser extent, but a bit more baffling Lanzini as well.
Yeah. Great to see him get that goal the other week.
Yeah, great to see it. I don't think there's any doubt about it. He's gone. We won't see him again, which is a shame. But again, I think he's been massively underused this year. I don't know why he hasn't been able to get on the pitch in the league. I think that his first league start.
I don't know, mate.
I think it was. No, he started the first day of the season. First game of the season, he started.
The goals, mate. It's the goals. It's the fact that he might not do anything yet. He might come on and do absolutely nothing for, say he's on for 20 minutes. 19 minutes, he might not do nothing. But there's 1 minute, he can put it in the net. He has got the composure to put it in. And like you say, mate, underused when maybe we did need a goal and a little bit of magic.
Yeah, and I think it's been we know the rumours throughout the season of players being unhappy and rifts within the camp, and again, this is all just, it's so difficult because we're in a European final, and you have to say David Moyes has done that. David Moyes has got us to a European final, but at the same time this season, it feels like he's killing the club. It's such a weird thing.
A question to ask you on that, though, mate, is with the European final, could any decent manager have got us to the final? I'm not saying win it, because Fiorentina are going to be a tough challenge, and we will talk about them in a minute. But, West Ham in this competition, big Premier League team, was final really a minimum?
I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
I'm just trying to be, devil's advocate. Listen, I'm amazed that we've got there. It's fantastic. But the teams in there really, considering we beat Seville, who won Europa League last year, just shows how good a result that was as well last year.
Yeah, no, you're right, mate. You're right. We were, right from the very beginning, we were one of the favourites to win the thing. You look at the teams we've played, you would say, well, yeah, I suppose a final would be a minimum. Saying that, there's a lot of teams that didn't make the final. A lot of good teams that didn't make the final in this competition as well. So it's still an achievement. Absolutely still an achievement. I think, like you say, mate, it comes down to winning it. Getting to it, losing the Europa Conference League final ain't great. Winning the trophy is an achievement. So I don't know. There's still a lot hinging on Wednesday's game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's enough for the season. What's your favourite goal, mate? Just quickly, what was your favourite goal this season? You can include Europe in that. I've put down Rice versus Ghent, Fornals versus Bournemouth, Fornals versus AZ Alkmaar, or Paqueta versus Liverpool.
All great goals, mate. All great goals. I'll probably say the Rice goal.
It was
because
a proper moment, wasn't it? It was a proper moment.
Yeah, it was. And I feel like that just kind of capped his season off a little bit of him basically stepping up. That was him stepping up and saying, "No, I'm carrying this team," sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. But
do you agree with the hammer of the season? Do you agree with him getting hammer of the year?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't know who else you would give it to.
Only Benny on early form potentially.
Yeah. I think Benrahma was a lock-in, but then he kind of sort of fell off towards the end of the season. I think it's fair to give it to Rice. To be honest, I don't. If as I say, even when Declan Rice was for a large part of the season, he wasn't really doing anything. He didn't look like the player he was. He looked like he was a bit overwhelmed with everything. But yeah, the last month or so, he really, really stepped up. So yeah, I think that's fair.
Sorry, one more question, mate. Just come to my head. Do you think just on this season we only stayed up because there were 3 teams worse than us?
Yes.
Not because of anything we did particularly well.
There's no doubt about it. Of course. Like you say, mate, we lost 20 games. Appalling. Appalling season. No, there's absolutely no doubt about it. Let's not forget, it was still possible that we could be relegated, with 2 weeks left of the season. So, yeah, absolutely.
It's been a disaster in terms of Premier League. Right, let's move on. Right, as I said, me and Paul weren't going to say the big man. We was going to leave it because it's probably a nice little thing to actually discuss. Thank you, Matt, for the question. Did you see Antonio podcast yesterday? I haven't seen the podcast, but I've seen the clip. He's asked about Scamacca, and he says he's a quality player, but he doesn't suit Moyes' style. He's not going to run in behind. He needs players around him. Gutted, mate, to be honest with you. I think it just, again, sums up that he's going to go. The only chance of him staying, I think, is if Moyes does go. And, he's going to go Juve, Inter, AC, wherever he ends up, and he'll bang 25 goals in, mate.
Yeah, it's so disappointing. Obviously, especially with my Italian connections, I love to see it. Italian striker coming in.
He's a good player.
Great player, mate. He's a great player. And that Antonio thing was weird. Like, I feel like I personally, I think it was a pop at David Moyes myself.
Yeah, I do, rather than at Scamacca. Yeah, I agree.
I don't think he was having a dig at Scamacca. Saying he's a quality player, he's a great player. But for me, the key thing that Antonio said was, in the way that Moyes plays, you're as a striker, you're feeding off scraps. That was his actual words. It's like you're expected to feed off scraps. Take aside the Scamacca thing, right? Antonio saying that. What does that say for any potential strikers we might want to sign in the summer?
Yeah, exactly, mate.
If you're, we get the Declan Rice money, say Scamacca goes off to Juventus, and we're sitting there, we're like, right, okay, we need to spend big on a striker. What quality striker is going to want to come to West Ham when the current striker is sitting there saying, if you're a striker at West Ham under David Moyes, you've got to feed off scraps. Who's going to want to come and play in that team?
And that's my fear with David Moyes is, if David Moyes stays, listen, credit to Antonio. Listen, the guy's got 13 goals this season, and he has actually showed some really good stuff towards the end. But, mate, if Antonio is the man hung out to dry again up front, mate, we're just asking to go down that Leicester route of aging Cresswell, aging Antonio, aging Ogbonna. And, mate, we're just going to sleepwalk again into a really, really bad season if that is what the case is.
I agree, mate. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely gutted with Scamacca, mate, if that does happen. Kera is a good player who hasn't been used properly. Disappointed with Ings, Souček and Cornet. Yeah, Danny Ings, mate. Obviously, another one, mate. Not used properly.
No. Imagine Ings and Scamacca playing together.
Yeah.
That could work. That could work. But yeah.
Fornals to start. Benny to come on as a late sub if we get penalties. We'll talk about that in a minute. Fancy putting FIFA game on at the same time. I have done a FIFA preview just for the Prague game. I thought, you know what, it's a special occasion. I'll bang the FIFA preview out. Morning, Luke and Paul. Lads, how do you feel about Rice when he goes? For me, it's cheer for your services, but West Ham all over. Am I harsh? If you've seen the show, you know how I think. If he goes to any Premier League club, barring Manchester City, I don't care. I don't care. You're gone. If you go to Bayern Munich, I'll probably follow the career and go, yeah, go on, mate. Well done and all that. But the thought of seeing that man in an Arsenal shirt, it breaks my heart. I hate Arsenal. I hate them. What about you, mate?
Yeah, I'm not as harsh as you on Rice. But no, I don't think he owes us anything. I don't think he owes the club anything. He doesn't owe the fans anything. He's not a West Ham fan. Yeah, and when he goes, I wish him well. Like you say, obviously, if you go, I don't want to see him at a London club. I don't want to see him at a London club.
Chelsea, because it's his boyhood club, and I can, if your boyhood club comes in for you, you can't.
I think the thing is, right, I understand that side of things. It's his boyhood club, Chelsea. You might want to go and play there, but realistically, we're a Chelsea. Do you know what I mean?
No, exactly.
Like if he wants to leave to win trophies and play in the Champions League, he ain't doing it at Chelsea anytime soon. I'd hate to see him go to Man United just because I can't stand Man United fans.
What my fear is that Arsenal know that they're in a position that Declan Rice only wants to join them. And in that situation, the board has to be stubborn. It can't be like the Payet situation where I'm only going Marseille, you have to accept that 27 million. If Arsenal don't pay the 100 million, you don't go then, Dex. You stay at West Ham for another year. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think the board will actually hold firm on that. I was reading yesterday, apparently there is a gentleman's agreement. Now, gentleman's agreements don't really mean anything, but apparently there's a gentleman's agreement between Sullivan and Rice that if a Champions League club comes in for him for 120 mil, he can go.
Which fair enough.
Yep. If that isn't the case, he goes nowhere. And I really hope they stick to that. I really do. Yeah.
We have. We've got to be like how Brighton do their business. There's a couple of other clubs like that as well that, that is the price. You pay that or you don't get him. At the end of the day, we'll still get 60, 70 million next summer. With a year left on his contract, he'll still get 60, 70 million. And for a season, you get £120 million world-class player. I mean, I'm not... As long as we get the money, we'll talk about who we're going to spend it on in a minute. once we've gone through a few comments. What's your thoughts on Areola now? Fabianski has signed an extension. Now, X has said that Areola will be the Premier League goalkeeper next season, from what he's heard. And I think if Areola does stay, he must know that. He must know that, otherwise he's gone.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And Fabianski, hopefully, if we do win it, he's the Europa League goalkeeper. It's two decent enough goalkeepers, isn't it? Bang on, Matt. 2 up, 2 down. Cheers, pals. I've got so much to stick on that. Let's just quickly look through, see if there's any actual questions. What's this one? I'm a little sentimental when it comes to Johnson, because in my personal opinion, but I've always liked Spence from Spurs or Max Aarons from Norwich. In my opinion, England under 10 million. Pace, which we will need. I still like the thought of us maybe going in for Wan-Bissaka, but I think
I like Aaron's. I like Aaron's as well. Yeah,
I think the fact that Kerr is there, Soufal looks like his contract's been extended, Cresswell's contract's been extended, and Emerson obviously he's on a contract. I don't think fullbacks will be the priority. As bad as that is, I think West Ham will be looking at centre midfielders, and by all accounts, it looks like a left winger between Jack Harrison and Harvey Barnes, but we'll talk about that in a minute. In my opinion, if a club puts you on the map, you've got to show them some respect and love. Regardless, Rice is a Chelsea boy, but to leave after one season as captain, he would lose all his credit with me. Well, if he wins a trophy, and he's in there with Billy Bonds and Bobby Moore as the only men to lift a trophy for West Ham United, mate. Even I, as much as I would hate to see him leave, the man's a legend. No, mate, he's a legend.
Of course he is. Yeah, of course he is.
Yeah. Oh, and Matt does say, regardless, even if we won it. Well,
that's the thing. Like, as much as at the moment I can't stand David Moyes, I want to see David Moyes at the club. I really, really, like the back's broken on David Moyes. If he wins the Conference League, I have to admit, like you say, mate, he goes in that Hall of Fame. The man goes down as a club legend. Yeah,
he is, mate. He is. Even if we win a tourney, we as a club should be aiming higher. This will only happen when Sullivan and Moyes disappears. Nothing is going to change until then. Yeah, but like I said, there's loads to talk about in terms of takeover as well in a minute. We really have got a lot to talk about. Paul, we will have to sort out Luke a decent chair. Have you got a spare one for him? Got to look at his posture, take it from an older guy. Listen, I work out. I'm all right. I'm a PE teacher. I do me football and all that. Is it more a left back we need than a right back? I don't think we'll sign a fullback, mate. I'll be honest with you. Like I just said, with Cresswell, new contract extension, Emerson, Soufal, and that, I don't think we'll sign on. Here we go. Good question. Leads quite nicely into the transfer stuff. Who would you want to sign from Southampton, Leeds, or Leicester? Well, I do think, mate, I think Wall Price will happen. What about you? There's a lot of smoke in that.
I'd like to see it. I would like to see it. It'd be an interesting one because, if we sign Wall Price, he's not really a like for like replacement for Declan. You would still want that defensive sided midfielder as well. But I'd love to see him come to West Ham. Yeah,
Wall Price plus, a really strong...
A destroyer.
A Chiatti-like type, a Diarmi-like type of character. And you're looking at the midfield and you're going, not bad. I don't get why people are turning their nose up at Wall Price.
No, I don't really understand that.
There's a lot of negativity from the West Ham fans.
He's a great player. He would give us a crazy threat from set pieces and free kicks, which is something that
Beckham's record as well, one away from Beckham's record.
Like David Moyes, if he stays, we know how much he loves playing for set pieces. So, I think it'd be a great signing.
Another one there's a few from Southampton actually. Livramento, if we were going for a fullback, I like him. Kyle Walker-Peters, if we was going for a right back. And the other young boy, Lavia, I think he's absolutely fantastic player. 19-year-old Man City youth product, but I think he's a bit out of our price range. Anyone else, Southampton, mate?
Nah. I think you covered it there.
Yeah. Leeds, obviously Jack Harrison is the name that's linked between us and Villa. Apparently, scored a hat-trick against us a couple of years ago. Rodrigo, I don't mind. I don't mind him.
I like Rodrigo. He's been injured, I think, quite a bit this season, though.
Yeah,
and then you sort of think, if he came in, where would he play?
He would become like another Fornals or Lanzini if he came to us, I think.
Yeah. I like him, but I don't think he'd be right for this West Ham team.
Just moving on to Leicester, would you prefer Harvey Barnes or Jack Harrison?
I like Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes.
I do. I really like him. I think it'd be really good balance, him and Bowen left and right. Yeah,
he's impressed me when I have seen him. That's the point I see Matt said there. Harvey Barnes back up to Bowen. Then I thought Barnes played on the left, not the right. But that is a huge issue that we've got, and I think that we've had this season. We don't have any backup for Jarrod Bowen.
No, we don't, mate. We don't. Anyone else at Leicester? Ndidi, would you take him in terms of destroyer? Had a bit of a poor season, but could moving clubs give him like a bit of maybe a lease of life?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think it would depend on the price, but yeah, we know like he could be a great player. He could be exactly the kind of player for that role.
To free up the Paquetas and the Wall Prices, to do their thing. Yeah. Just trying to think anyone else. Ricardo Pereira, I like the right back. Who else have we got? Tillemans is probably out of our price range. It would be a great sign.
He's out of contract anyway, isn't he?
Sorry, mate.
He's out of contract. He's going.
Yeah, I think he will go. I think he'll get a decent club in.
He will.
Madison will probably go to Newcastle. One other one, mate. Kelechi Iheanacho. Yes or no?
Nah.
No. I'm not a fan. I think he's a bit. I think he's a bit. I don't know. He's just not good enough. He's not quite good enough.
No, I don't think he is. No, for where we want to be and the level we want to be at. No, not for me. Most people saying Harrison, Tillemans, Wall Price. Yes, please. Wall Price and Downs combo. I think Downs will continue to be sort of what he is. If we had Madison in that current 11, who would you sacrifice to play for him? Thomas Souček in at number 10. We all know how good Rice is. I'd like to see him at Man City under Pep. We will see how good he really is. I think he could play for Man City. I really do. I really do. Could, yeah. He could.
I know you've got Rodri there, probably who's just in front of him at the minute, but 100% he can play in that midfield. You think they may lose Gundogan? He's more than capable of playing that role. What about a guy from Fulham we've been linked with? Oh, Paulina. Yes, a lot of money though. Very good player. Most booked player in the Premier League though. What about him, mate?
What sort of money are they asking?
50 mil. 29
that's a lot of money. Well. Yeah, no, that's too much money for West Ham, I think.
Yeah, I think. Again, it's down to this director of football thing. If we get a decent director in who can identify a good CDM, then that's the way forward. Just on the director of football, mate, Rob Newman, is he at fault for this? I think he's bought good players.
Yeah, I think he's bought good players as well that haven't been used right. But then, I don't know. At the moment, the setup, I don't think you could say. I just think the setup in general doesn't work. If he's looking at players that David Moyes doesn't want or that Moyes doesn't know how to use, it's pointless.
Yeah, it's a bit of both, isn't it? It's a bit of both. Like he has a bit of both, players. Yeah. Scamacca is a good player. Paqueta is a fantastic player. But yeah, the fact that Moyes didn't know how to use them is it's a bit of both, isn't it? Luke Thomas, future player for Cresswell. Southampton, Lavia plus James Ward-Price, Leeds, Giannotto, Leicester, Barnes and Madison, but Chelsea will have him because of Mount. Yeah, I forgot Mount's going to Man United, didn't he? Oh, what a question. No, Jesse is a free agent. Do you think Moyes will waste his time? It would not surprise me. Let's just say that. It would not surprise me.
If he did, I would want him sacked immediately.
Yeah. It's just pointless. It's just absolutely pointless. Oh, we can all dream, Matt. We can all dream. Jonathan David was a player I wanted, but now having Antonio Ings and Scamacca, that won't happen. See, with Jonathan David, we missed the boat with that. There was a chance. There was a chance, maybe a year or so ago, where you could have got him out of there. But not now. He's got too many people on his radar now. Bought good players, but Moyes' tactics are ridiculous and archaic. What a great word, archaic. Before we talk about Fiorentina, mate, let's talk about what do we want then, mate? What do we want going forward next season? You know, in terms, could a takeover happen? By all accounts, there's American investors now, God forbid. Whoever fouls in the Man United one, the Sheikh or Jim Ratcliffe, by all means, could come and pick West Ham up as a backup.
I want to see a takeover happen. Yeah, it's gone very quiet though.
Which is sometimes good. Which is sometimes
good. Yeah, I think the gold shares are going to be an issue. I don't know how long it's going to take to get that all sorted out, and then obviously with Jacqueline Gold passing away as well. Yeah, I think that's going to complicate things quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, you want to see us taken. What I would love to see, dream scenario, absolute dream scenario. We win the Conference League. We shake Moyes' hand. Off he goes into the sunset and retires. We get a new owners. We get a new director of football. We get a new manager with a long-term plan. And as you said earlier, mate, it's just a reset for the club.
At a good time as well. At a very good time. Won a trophy. We're in Europe, and he's left us in a good stead.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's kind of counterintuitive, you know, letting the manager go on a higher sort of thing, but that is the best time to do it. That's the best time to do it. You don't want to be doing it when you're at your lowest point, because then everything you're building, like you say, you're just firefighting, you're getting in the wrong players that you don't want long term to take you forward. You're getting in a manager to keep you up, not a manager to take you forward. Yeah, I think this is, and again, it's if we win. I think again, if we win, it's going to make a huge difference because again, we'll be back in Europe. We can attract better players, better managers.
Yeah.
If we win the cup, we need to just go boom, clear out, start again, new owners, new everything.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I agree. In terms of a manager, is there anyone who's like coming up now that you think maybe?
I haven't really seen any links or anything. That's all gone quiet. I'd still be very interested in Carrick. Obviously missed out on promotion. So I think if they had got promoted, there would have been absolutely no chance. But I think now that they didn't, I think there's absolutely a chance you could get him out of Middlesbrough. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. As I say, it's the managers we were linked with during the season. There's still a couple I'd be interested in, but then you worry about the likes of Rafa coming in, and
oh god, no.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Mancini's going anywhere now. I think he's going to stay with Italy.
If you look at even Tottenham, mate, you know how they're struggling. You know they're down to about their 7th, 8th candidate now. You know, it's just I don't know. I really don't know. Chris Smalling is a free agent, I think. He would do a short-time job like Dulce. Still is fantastic in his 30s. I fear for future injuries for next season in our defence. Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. Maybe a centre-back. Sorry, Jesus.
Woof. Smalling's a great player. Smalling, I would love to see. Like you say, for that role, I think he might, I don't know, it depend on his wage expectations, I think.
So, just quickly, mate, just come in my head there. Talking about ex-Man United players, we are heavily linked, mate, with Harry Maguire as well. What sort of money would you be paying to get him out of there? 40?
30? I mean,
would you take him? I'd take him. I think if you're getting Ward Price and Maguire, that's quite good business.
Yeah, I would.
Listen, he ain't good for Man United, but he'd be brilliant for us.
I agree. I would definitely take him 30, 35. I know that's going to seem undervalued compared to what they paid for him, but let's be realistic. He's not wanted at Man United. He's not going to play at Man United
as well. I would take McTominay as well.
I don't mind McTominay, but the fear with McTominay would be that the club would see that as the Rice replacement, and I don't think he's good enough to be the Rice replacement.
No, I think the Rice replacement is going to be two players, because you've got Paqueta that will probably do the driving next season. Ward-Prowse maybe the pinger and the mover, and then, like I say, McTominay is the third part of that puzzle. Which does that midfield look stronger than Paqueta, Rice, and Souček? Paqueta, Ward-Prowse, and McTominay. Does it balance it out a bit?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Reece Nelson from Arsenal. In my opinion, he'd be a good right winger. Yeah, he's good, but if it's part of the Declan Rice deal, I don't want it. Maguire will destroy West Ham. Really? The way we sit back, he won't be left. Man United play a high line. That's why he's been exposed for a long time at that club. West Ham do not play a high line. We sit deep. We're good in the air at set pieces and corners. I think it'd be a fantastic signing for us. I really do. Let's hope Moyes does go, and we can end up with Maguire. Oh, not a lot of people on that. I'm so sorry, lads. If I sound negative, I will boycott West Ham until Harry Maguire left the club. Absolutely crap. That is. What about you, mate? Harry Maguire?
No, I like him. Yeah, I would definitely take him. And again, like you say, I think
ball playing centre back as well.
They didn't pay that money for him for nothing. It hasn't worked out at Man United. It hasn't. Everyone's on his back. The club's on his back. The fans are on his back, and I think he absolutely needs a move. And I'll tell you, right, if he will probably leave Man United this summer.
No,
if
he
will. And wherever he goes,
it'll be a good.
Yeah, whether that's to West Ham or to somewhere else, in 6-12 months' time, everyone will be saying, "Oh, do you know what? He's actually a really good player."
If you look at players that leave Manchester United, they usually go on and be their clubs in their top three best players: Phil Neville, Smalling, Johnny Evans at Leicester. They usually go on and be quite good. Lingard, when he was at West Ham for a couple of months, was fantastic. What about Martial? Would you have Martial?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. But he's not coming to West Ham.
No, just put it out there. Antonio said, trying to change our style this season didn't work, so they had to go back to the last season's formula. Would our next manager risk a big change in the style with his squad? Why not? Why not? Look what Emery's done at Villa. They was on the floor under Gerrard, and they're going to be playing Conference League next season.
That kind of makes me laugh as well. I know, and it might be true. Oh, trying to change our style didn't work. We went back to last season's formula. We still lost 20 games.
Yeah.
How much worse could it have been? Could it have been? I don't buy that rubbish. Like if you're too scared to make a change.
Every time it looked like we were being ambitious, Pellegrini, Hollah, Scamacca, it all goes wrong. Perhaps we're due some luck, but I don't feel confident next season. You know what it is as well? Some of it is, those are quality players you listed there, but some of it is about buying the right player. If you look at Newcastle, since that takeover, they haven't really got a transfer wrong. Trippier, great leader. West Ham could have got him a couple of years ago. We could have got someone like Trippier. Bruno Guimaraes. They're names that are projects, but they're right. They're right at the right time. And that's what a new director, a new board needs to get that philosophy. We're going to go and buy, have the ability to go and maybe take someone's best player out of their team, outside the top six. A couple more comments, then we'll start talking about next week, mate. Start getting excited. Why is it other teams cast off who can't get into teams think they can get into ours is beyond me. Who, though? Who are you talking about, mate? Is Mano got a new deal? One of our best players? No, mate. I think, sadly, he is gone, mate, which is a big, big shame. Big, big shame. Soyuncu on a free from Leicester. Nah, it's not quite worked out for him. And you're going to go, no, but you take Harry Maguire. Maguire, Agerd, and Zuma at the back with James Ward-Prowse. I think we'll score a few set pieces. Yeah, that's what I'm linking it with. That if you got Ward-Prowse and Maguire, that big slab head to aim at, we're going to score some bloody goals. Can Carrick do better than Patrick Vieira, Lampard, Gerrard, and Ollie?
I don't think Vieira did a bad job.
No, I think he got found out a little bit.
But I mean, that happens with every manager. That happens with every manager. Eventually, every manager gets found out. Lampard's shocking.
A joke.
Gerrard... But Lampard did nothing in the lower leagues either. So, Lampard was a failure everywhere. Gerrard was successful in Scotland, but anyone would be.
And Ollie was just, caretaker. Sonny Perkins, where you at, Mush? Say hello to Mill. Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about it, mate. Right, so next week, Paul will be there. And hopefully, if he's sober enough, he'll have a nice vlog for us in a couple of days after the final. Or if we lose, I'm sure he will smash the tape up and we'll never see the footage. Fiorentina, mate, a team I used to absolutely love. A team that if you probably go back, I probably predicted that this is the team that, the one we needed to avoid because, that is the team you probably have to beat to win it. Great memories of Batistuta, Rui Costa, Dunga, Luca Toni. Yeah, what's your memories of them, mate, before we go into the actual game and what they're about now?
Oh, mate, that's it. Like you say, they were one of the big Serie A teams in the 90s, Football Italia. Like you say, Batistuta, one of the best players of all time, one of the best strikers of all time.
Amazing, mate. Amazing player.
Yeah. The recent years, they haven't been great, to be honest. They've been a kind of mid-table, lower table.
Yeah, currently ninth they're sitting. They're sitting in ninth at the minute.
Yeah, and it's interesting because they didn't have a good start this season. They were down the bottom, but then they went on a really, really strong run. And that's kind of coincided with their run to the final. Yeah, they're a decent team. It's so weird because, I think mid-table in Serie A is nothing to shout about, really. It's not the strongest league. But then West Ham are 14th in the Premier League. So, we're not the strongest.
No, it's funny, the league. I looked at the league table the other day, Serie A. Obviously, Napoli won it. And then it's like Inter, AC, and like someone like Juventus. I think Juventus are like 7th.
That's because they're point deduction.
Oh, okay. Some massive clubs like Lazio are nowhere near what they used to be. Lazio used to be such a wonderful football team and just nowhere near it now. Their manager, great name, Vincenzo Italiano. 50% career record, mate, in terms of wins for he's managed another couple of clubs. His actual record for Fiorentina is 44.4. Yeah, mate. I don't know much about him, but just going on that is a fantastic record on its own, no?
Yeah, of course. Like you, mate. I can't say I really know anything about him, but yeah, with numbers like that, fantastic record. Yeah.
The last game, they played Roma, beat them 2-1. They beat Roma 2-1 in the league, and before that they lost 2-1 in the cup to Inter. They do play their last game on Friday. They do have one more game left in Serie A, I believe, which is on Friday. Played Basel in the round before. Did you see much of that game?
I actually didn't know. No.
Yeah, I'd like to say that they're good. There's a few good players in it. I've listed some of their top performers. Luca Martinez averages 8 out of 10 a game. Barak, you might remember him, Czech Republic squad, blonde guy. He's a good player. Milenkovic, a player that we've been linked with a few times. Iconi, French right winger. Cabral, another player we've been linked with, striker. Luka Jovic, and obviously probably their best player is the Moroccan guy, Amrabat, mate. It's going to be a tough battle. It's going to be tough.
It is going to be tough, yeah. It is going to be a tough game, and it's a final. I expect it to be quite cagey.
They usually play a 4-1-4 as well. So, they played a 4-1 CDM, and then a sort of a high 4 with a 1. It could be something different we've not come up against this season, really.
Yeah, tough game, hard to predict. obviously both clubs are going to be up for it, but I feel like I do feel like West Ham are going to be really up for this. I do. I feel like West Ham are going to feel like they need this more, if that makes sense. So I think the fight and the determination is going to be there. But it is a tough game. It is a tough game, although they can be got at. Yeah.
Just looking at their strengths on the website I use, they're very good at defending set pieces, defending against individual skill, attacking set pieces. They're strong. It says here shooting directly from free kicks. I'm not sure who their free kick taker is. Aerial duels. Weaknesses are defending through balls, and their style of play, typical Italian style. They'll pin you in, possession football, go through the middle a lot, and they cross a lot. We know about Italians, mate. You know about Italian football. Italians pride themselves on the 1-0 win. I've just got to plug my laptop in, mate, while you talk about them on that 1-0 win.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think that's a bit of a overplayed thing that the Italian teams are just sort of sit back and defend. I don't think that's been as much the case in recent years, but obviously, yeah, they do have that reputation of like in the city and fantastic defense and built out the back.
First goal. If Fiorentina get the first goal, I worry. Then I do. I would be quite worried.
I do. I think we're going to struggle to score. I mean, you say their weakness through balls. We don't play through balls. We play crosses into the box. So, and we try and play on the counter. That's the problem. That is a problem. We try and play on the counter. But as you say, if they get the first goal, they will be more than happy to sit in and just say, break us down. And we know that we struggle with that. So, yeah, the first goal is key. But, I mean, the first goal is key in any game.
Well, I think if we get the first goal, they've got to come out then. Listen, I don't know how they play properly. I can't say I'm an expert on how Fiorentina play. But if they are your typical Italian style team, if we score first, they have to come out, which could open up some gaps. Have they come up against a player like Mikel Antonio? I know we sit here and slate him sometimes, but it seems that these teams on the continent don't know how to deal with him.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, I don't know. He probably didn't play, but like you say, they played Roma the other week, and Tammy Abraham would be quite similar.
Lukaku.
Lukaku. Yeah, so they do see those types of players. But I mean, Antonio can be a different beast if he's absolutely on it. So yeah, it'd be an interesting game. I can't call it one way or the other. I don't know how it's going to go. Obviously, I'm hoping for the best. I will be there.
No, obviously, mate. Obviously,
but it's going to be tough.
I've got a question for you, then, mate. What would not David Moyes' starting 11? What would be yours?
I'm not unhappy with the 11 that has been playing recently. Obviously, Areola will start in goal, and I'm happy with Areola starting in goal.
The right back. The
right back's right back's tough.
Yeah.
I like Kera. I think Soufal will play, and to be honest, I think Soufal's probably a better bet in this game. Agurd Zuma, obvious, picks itself. I would want to see Emerson on the left just for that.
I'm worried about Iconi running at Cresswell.
Yeah, I would want to see Emerson on the left. I think Cresswell will start. Again, the midfield picks itself. It'll be Rice, Paqueta, Souček.
No, but
would I start Souček?
Would you start Souček? I would play Pablo Fornals there. Or I'd play Benrahma there and Pablo Fornals on the left.
I wouldn't play Benrahma. I suppose if you played him in front of Paqueta and Rice. I don't know. I can kind of understand Moyes' thinking with Souček thinking about this game. Because when he is playing well, he does provide that. It's weird to say,
that it's in Prague, it's in a stadium he has affinity with.
Yeah,
could that lift his performance?
Definitely, yeah.
A real top performance out of Souček that night.
I think as well as Fornals, if Fornals ain't going to play in the middle as well as he's been playing recently, I would still start Benrahma on the left, just for that bit of magic. Antonio obviously plays through the middle and Bowen on the right. Yeah, there's not a huge amount of decisions to make, really.
No. And Do you think we can? Do you think we'll win? I know you're struggling to make a prediction.
My heart says yes. I think we will. I think we'll do it. I think we will do it. I think we'll do it.
I hope so. I really do. It's so hard. I was asked on a show the other day, and I just said I predict pain. But that's not saying that we won't win it. I just think, that semi-final, mate. You said it yourself, mate. God, my heart rate in that game, just because it was like, come on, boys, please, just do it. Yeah. Listen, mate. I hope you have a great time out there, mate. Honestly, and I hope you see us win it. I do. I just hope that's, just an amazing moment for everyone there and everyone at home. Just please, just do it, boys. Just do it for us. Let's go through the last comments here. I might be very late, but apparently Man United are paying 10 million for Maguire to leave. Does that mean they're releasing him and he will be on a free? Maybe. I don't know, mate. I can't say I've read that one. Hope Fiorentina ain't like Roma last night. What a terrible game that was. I can't say I watched it, to be honest with you, mate. I can't say I watched that game.
It's Mourinho, isn't it? It's Mourinho. It's what he does. I'm glad he lost.
Yeah. Barak, who is the number 10 for Czech Republic, is massive and will be very popular with a Czech neutral. Yeah, he was very, very good. Was it the World Cup or the Euros? I remember looking at him. He looked quite good. What is Moyes' win percentage? I can't say I know, mate. I'll let you know next time.
I don't know. I think it's...
I read about 26.
I don't know about this season. I think across both spells, I think he's actually about 40%.
Oh, bloody hell. Fiorentina leave themselves open on the counter-attack. They press very high, but leave themselves very vulnerable at the back. Thanks for the input there, mate. If we can break from their press, we could have a chance. Can't see Moyes trying anything different for the final. Souček certain to start, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. That's it for West Ham. We've got about 5 more minutes, I think. What about just in general Premier League then, mate? Who is your player of the season? A manager of the season?
Player of the season is obviously Erling Haaland. Absolute freak of
Young
nature.
player and Premier League player of the year, mate. He won both.
Yeah, deserved. Absolute freak of nature. Goal scoring machine, like literally an absolute machine. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Manager of the season, I'll be honest, I don't know who won any of these awards. I haven't looked. I'll probably give that to Eddie Howe.
Yeah, I was going to say, mate, it's between 3 managers probably, and you probably could go Pep Guardiola, Eddie, and then my outside one would be De Zerbi. I think he's been absolutely fantastic for Brighton. First time Brighton's ever qualified for Europe. Amazing. Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted just because I just looked it up quick. So Moyes' win percentage in this spell is actually 45%.
Oh wow!
It's in his last spell it was 29%. That's obviously heavily weighted by European games.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, just wanted to get that in there.
No, mate. Thanks for looking it up. Thoughts on the 10-day break? I reckon it will mean we have a slow start in the final. We don't always react well to having a long break. It's a good point. It's a good point. West Ham usually better when they're playing games thick and fast. I think that's the worst thing we can do, mate. Have that slow start. It's just awful if we do that. Yeah. Roma Antics were a disgrace. Glad they lost. We are playing the final on BT Sports YouTube free. Yes, mate. It's great that they're doing that. Haaland, the Usain Bolt of football. Anything else, mate? Anything else quickly in terms of West Ham that you've heard? Any?
No, I'll be honest, mate. I haven't really been looking at anything because I don't trust anything that I read anymore.
Hopefully new kits as well. New kits soon.
I know. I hate that we take so long to announce it. It's a joke. And they still haven't put the home and away on sale this season. The third kit's 40% off at the minute, but they still haven't put.
Apparently, we are going to wear that one in the final, mate. So if you are taking a shirt with you, apparently that is the kit they're going to wear.
Oh, other side. Got the badge on this one, mate. That's something I've been so conflicted about. So if anyone don't know, I am a football shirt collector. I've got like 200 shirts. I've got most of West Ham shirts, and I don't know what to wear because I don't want to ruin whatever I wear.
I know, and I've like this season the home shirt. At first, it was a bit of a voodoo shirt for me, where it was like we weren't winning in it. And then sort of these last sort of 10 games and the European games, I've literally have to wear the shirt all day as like a superstition thing. Like, I have to wear that shirt. So, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do on the day. I really don't. Fixtures are out as well, guys, soon. We'll probably would have had another podcast between now and then. I think they come out the 13th of June. So another couple of weeks, which is ridiculous that the fixtures are going to be out that quick. Looking forward to the games like Luton, I have to say. I think that's going to be an interesting little game, that one. Some stats don't tell the whole story. Have a great time out there, Paul. Give all of us Three Hammers fans away from Prague and 1-0 so check header for me. Hopefully, like I say, Paul will hopefully film some videos during the day. Maybe if it's not a vlog, we'll put some videos out of even the singing in the square, wherever Paul ends up. I don't know where he's ended up at there once he gets there.
Yeah, I'll try and get something. I'll fly out on the Wednesday morning, and then I don't know. I'll get there about 2:30, so I'll go to the fan park, probably meet up with a couple of mates, and then obviously I'll be going to the stadium. Try not to get stabbed. I'll be in the stadium obviously for the game, so I'll try and get some video in the stadium, and then afterwards there's
winning, mate. Hopefully
we'll get the celebrations, the trophy lift. I'm sitting. It's not bad actually. I'm sitting in the corner. Pretty much in the middle of all the West Ham fans. We've got the stand behind the goal and then the half of the sort of side stand. So I'm in the corner, so that should be a decent spot to get some videos. Afterwards, who knows where I'll end up? Probably passed out on the street somewhere.
Just be safe, mate. That's all I ask. Just be safe, mate. Can be dodgy, some of them fans. Some of them fans can be a bit dodgy. Judging by Roma's antic last night, I'm expecting Fiorentina to be cheating, diving, crowding a ref, time wasting, fouling, shirt pulling, and hopefully crying when they lose. I hope so, mate. I hope so. I like the white kit, but I would prefer us to be in claret and blue. The problem is Fiorentina playing purple, so it's very close to their kit, and I think they've won the toss. By all accounts. Up to down. Don't get too drunk, Paul. This is a man that don't really drink anymore either. So, old days, Paul would have been able to cope with it, but not now at 38. It hits you a bit harder now.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
And God knows if you win it. God knows where you end up, mate. Where are you watching it, Luke? I think my sister is doing a barbecue. So, my family will all be around there and hopefully, like I say, be a really nice night. But then I've got to bloody go to work the next day, which is annoying, very, very annoying. But listen, if I go into school the next day and West Ham have won it, it'll be a party anyway. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Me and Paul probably won't get back together again now until maybe Sunday, if he can on Sunday after the final. Obviously, I'll be back with some previews. I'll be building up all week and, talking about the game, bit of history on some of the teams, hopefully. If there's any ideas for videos you want building up to the game, drop them in the comments. Hit the like button before you leave, guys. And until then, come on, you irons. Please let the next time I come back on this channel be absolutely Cheshire Cat smile on my face, saying West Ham have won the Conference League and we're in Europa League again next season. Let's go.